We're playing sports. Get ball.
What it do, number one podcast listeners? You've tuned in to the number one podcast in your headphones and for your eyeballs, Prem Brulee. I'm your host, Premal Bhatt, and I am so honored to be joined by my cousin, Nisha Bhatt. Welcome, Nish.
Happy to be here.
You sang the initial intro song for years, so it was a long time coming that you are finally a co-host on Prem Brulee.
Heck yeah. Listen, first time sounder, you saved the best spot for last.
There you go. You're gonna have to take that up with the rest of the family. But number one podcast listeners, I'm trying to deliver on my promise to you all to have some more non-sports content. Niche, you're self-described not a big sports person, although I know you're a big World Cup person, so you're kind of eating your own words there. But nonetheless, this is an area I'm pretty new to, so I thought you're the perfect person to have this non-sports edition. And this episode is going to focus on yoga, mindfulness, and kind of everything that branches off from that general category. Not to put anything in a box, but we're going to see where the conversation goes. You are someone who I consider an expert in those spaces, so I thought me being new to that area of trying to be a more complete person, I figured there's a bunch of number one podcast listeners out there that are at the same level as me, maybe haven't even thought about getting into yoga or in the mindfulness meditation space, or don't know where to start. Or there's people that are already self-described kind of experts, and you're someone who can help them further that. So you're the perfect person for this. You might not describe yourself as an expert, but you're an expert to me. I'm guessing that's more about your modesty than anything else, but I'm pumped that we're doing this. It's a long time coming, Niche. So thank you for joining me.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for that. And definitely the yogi in me is already going to start off with nobody's an expert and everybody's an expert. So
Yeah,
you're
of
spot
course.
on there. But I'm
This is
so happy to be here.
this is this is our family dynamic, of course it's checking, still learning how to talk about things. Obviously number one podcast listeners know I get pretty deep, but trying to find my way into practicing it and not just preaching it. So here we are.
Here we are.
My
I'm honored. I'm honored to be your guide and the number one podcasters who have not also ventured into that space. Honored to help you out in any way I can.
Yeah. So, number one podcast listeners, just so you know, this is going to function similar to how other editions go, but it's going to focus in more on yoga and mindfulness. And I'm going to ask questions from my perspective, and hopefully it's enlightening for people that are all different levels, whether you're an expert or not. But hoping this will be informative for you in some way, number one podcast listeners. And I think it will. But before we begin, Niche, I do want to, talk about our sponsor, and I know it's near and dear to all of our hearts because we got dogs in this fight. But this edition of the number one podcast in your headphones is brought to you by Mushnoom. That's Mushnoom. You already know, number one podcast listeners, that in this quest of self improvement and making sure everything is interconnected, my health, my mental health, everything in between. Mushroom's a product that I believe in wholeheartedly. It's minority and physician backed, and they are functional mushroom extracts that can be part of your morning routine or pick me up in the middle of the day. The one I just showed to you, number one podcast listeners, on video form is the red reishi, and it's in capsule form. I've had powder form, but you can get yours and help your own self in the supplement world as part of your daily vitamin intake by going to mushnoom.com/Prem Brulee. That's mushnoom.com/Prem Brulee. You know how to spell that since you're here and tuned in. Don't play yourself. Go get you some and feel better about yourself by listening to this episode and getting yourself some mushroom. So
Heck yeah.
that's our
Reishi is my favorite one, actually.
yeah. I've tried them. I've tried their 3 different ones, and I'm a big fan of them all. So
Yeah, same. For different
yeah,
things. Sometimes I add it into my like coffee or protein shakes in the
yeah.
morning and it's perfect.
That's why I initially got the powder. I will say I like the pill form because I take other vitamins and stuff like that and allergy meds and whatnot. So it fits
Yes.
right in with the routine for convenience. So if you're one of those people, you can add it right into your daily vitamin intake. So they got all forms. So no excuse
Mhm.
not to give it a try. Number one podcast listeners, you already know. Mushroom.com/Prem Brulee. All right, Niche. Now that our housekeeping is done, shout out Mushroom. Are you ready to get started with this edition of Prem Brulee featuring you?
Yes. So ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Number one podcast listeners, you already know we start with the FM or nah. So, as an intro, I first want this is obviously a yeah fam in general, but first tell us about you, what you do, like a history of how you got started in yoga, and then how you expanded beyond it into somatics and mindfulness.
Yeah, absolutely. So yoga, and as you know this in our culture, like growing up Desi, it's really embedded in our, in Hinduism and like a lot of the pillars we grow up with. So I think it's like a little bit from birth from our families. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of facets to yoga. Like people think it's just the posture, but there's so much more. Like it's the way you live your life. It's how you breathe, how you look at your self practice or your nourishment. So a lot of that is in our upbringing, within our culture. So I would say that's like how I began in that way. But in terms of the posture, I I remember taking my first yoga class when I was like a preteen, and I had gone to a couple. I had been with my mom to a class. I had been with Gaki to a class, um, and I just had this one practice that I remember taking, and I remember having this like alteration in my body of feeling so clear that I would think I was like 13, and I thought I really want to do this one day. Like I want to learn how to help people feel that all the time. Um,
Wow, that
and then
early you
life
had the
happens. Yeah,
really?
yeah, that early. Yeah. And like my mom just introduced us in so many practices growing up in the spiritual and like your mindfulness practices that it really opened my mind to that lane in general, and my dad too. So, but yoga itself, yeah, at 13, I remember feeling that intense love of it. And then life happens, and I went through my teens and college, and I went in and out with my practice. But then about, I would say, 9 years ago, I was really consistent in my practice, and um, after about a year and a half, I was like, I want to learn yoga to further, like, do the teacher training to learn my practice a bit more. And two of my teachers who I really, really loved, they both practice different types of yoga. So I wanted to learn with them specifically. And then when I entered the program, I fell in love with the teaching side of it too. And that I got certified in 2019.
Okay.
um, yeah, so I've been teaching for 7 years now, which is wild for yoga.
Wow.
Yeah, not
So
wild.
what are you what are you certified in? Like what are the titles that make you you in the yoga
Yeah,
space?
yeah, good question. I'm a 200-hour registered yoga teacher with Yoga Alliance, and then I have, about 75 extra hours of purely yoga teaching, training experience, so I'm certified in that as well, and I'm also certified in somatic embodiment, which, is a furthering of my practice after a couple years of practicing. So those are the three major things I'm certified in. I also, within yoga, you get certified in mindfulness and meditation training, and I've taken a couple of extra certifications to become well versed in guiding meditation too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone with your resume, I assume there's levels to this, but that's what you described a lot of hours in
Yes.
learning and teaching.
Yes. A
So
lot of hours, and that's not even my teaching. Like now that I've been teaching for 7 years, like I would have to tally up how many classes I taught to see how many hours that would be. But those are my certifications, and those are in like power vinyasa, hatha, and restorative. So three different types or pillars of yoga.
okay. So you're gonna keep going into segues that need explanation because I am approaching this from
A novice, yes. If I
a
say something
novice.
that's
Yeah,
too
I
much,
wouldn't say I'm a
probably.
rookie. I'm a novice, so
Yeah.
I'm new to it. I'm no longer in the denial phase, which I think you guys all knew. I was like, we'll talk a little bit more about kind of,
Yeah.
I think, the stereotypes you have before you start, and then like what apprehensions. Essentially, they're like apprehensions for people starting. So I
Yeah.
want to get more into that, but I want to get a foundation first of like
Mm.
you just said three different types that you're certified in, and explain more about that, and then just the basics of what yoga is could be to you or in general like a definition.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So the 3 types I just mentioned in a normal yoga class, so vinyasa means a flow. So you're when you enter a yoga class, you're taking some type of sequence of movements, right? So vinyasa literally means the flow of postures or movements you're taking. So that's a specific style. Power vinyasa is a faster paced style and a little bit more intense. And then hatha is a more traditional, slower flow of movement. So two different styles, but very similar. Both have a sequence of flow. Restorative, also sometimes called yin, that is an extremely, extremely slow practice where you're probably holding anywhere from 5 to 12 postures for the entire hour or so of class. So it's very slow. You're holding longer poses. So that just those are the three like base definitions of those three. Yoga in general, yog literally means to yoke. So it's all about the way that you live your life. Um, Kind of like I mentioned earlier, it's not just posture, it's also about your social ethics, how you practice internally with yourself, your breath, your meditation. But in the Western world, as we understand it here, it is a movement practice. So
Mhm.
that is one of the main pillars of yoga. In the Western world, that's what people see it as mostly. Like you're going to a yoga studio to take a class of movement, and you'll be holding a number of postures for 60 minutes, and then you end in a shavasana or a closing pose that's meditative. Yeah. I guess whenever it was brought over to the West, people really took it in that and its movement form, which is beautiful, but it's not the only part of yoga. There's so many pillars or limbs of yoga, but that is what it essentially is in the terms we're talking about it here.
'Cause I assume there's a whole different like, the Venn diagram gets probably pretty ca complicated with people who practice certain parts of it, not others, but in a complete sense, it's all the pillars you're talking about.
Exactly. In a complete sense, it's everything. In the Western sense of like, moving your body, if we're talking about entering yoga as a new movement in your body, then it's like beginner's movement. But since we're also talking about meditation and mindfulness today too, those two are two other pillars of yoga as well.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I feel like I hope I'm not making it sound complex. It is and it isn't. It's very simple. Move your body, breathe.
yes, and
Yeah.
I think what it helps to know is when in doubt, someone who practices yoga, even in the complete sense, is gonna be welcoming to how however many of these pillars that you're into, even if you're just using it for fitness. They're everyone I've talked to that's that practices yoga is welcoming to however you choose to intersect with all the facets of it. Am I
Exactly.
correct?
You are correct. It is a very loving, welcoming space
Right.
for
But you don't have
anything.
to fully dive into all the if you're purely using it for fitness, you can just use it for fitness.
100%. If that is your goal and your desire, that can be the thing you focus on. Absolutely.
In your practice, do you tend to, because of all your certifications and the additions that you've added, do you find your like clientele is more in the, I don't want to say complete because I know it's not necessarily
Mm.
complete, but people who are practicing a lot more of the pillars than someone who's just seeking fitness?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like it's a mix, honestly. I get beginners or people who have never ever heard of yoga before and they just know of the movement. And so that's where they're entering from. But once you start coming to my classes, since I feel like this responsibility, especially as a South Asian teacher, that I want to put my all into making sure it encompasses all of that. So I feel like I get a lot of students who start to become more curious about the other pillars as they keep practicing with me, or I have, advanced practicing yogis who come and they know a lot of the pillars and they really want that holistic side of the practice. So I get a gauntlet from like don't know anything to you've been practicing for 20 years and everything in between.
That's cool. Not
Yeah, it's
surprising knowing you. Number one podcast listeners, you're new to niche, but welcoming's probably it'd be like top 5 descriptor for you and your personality. So I
Yay.
could feel that.
Bad
Okay.
batch in my case.
I try. I try. Learn from the best. Okay. So you mentioned somatic. I I would love for you to describe more about what that means because I mean it is one of your areas of I know you said expertise is probably not to be used, but just for layman's terms here for number one podcast listeners, explain more about that.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I will say I felt like after a few years of teaching, I was missing something. There was some like piece I was hoping for. And when I started practicing somatic work is when it clicked for me. So somatic is all about the body. And I know that sounds weird because we're also talking about yoga, which is part of the body, but soma from somatic literally translates to the body. So it's the connection between your mind and your body's awareness. Um, so it's a body centric approach to healing. And so if you think of talk therapy, which is you're talking about your feelings, you're expressing somatic um, experiencing or therapy is more about how are you experiencing that in your body? What is the physical feeling that's coming up for you? And how can you heal through that? Not only words.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like forgetting how you look, focusing on how you feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that difficult if you're running a class? Is it more intrinsic for someone who's attending one of your classes to figure that out, or that feels kind of like I don't know, I feel like I'm taking the lens of therapy of like that's usually one on one where this is more
Mm.
like internal reckoning or or
Yeah, yeah.
evaluating.
No, that's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, I guess I'll explain a little more about somatic because yes, it can be in my class. Like I think I naturally tend to teach with that in mind, but like the trainings are super different. Like I can have a somatic session with somebody that we're doing zero yoga movement. Um, it's it's like there are different somatic practices that you can use that are separate from yoga movement. So they can be like one-on-one sessions like you're talking about, or it can also be in a group, like a class or a workshop within yoga or not within yoga.
Okay. Makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah, it's cool. There's like I really like this quote I wrote a while ago for a workshop that I brought for this is somatic practice is opening a connected dialogue with a long lost friend, and the long lost friend is your body. So yeah.
Bars.
So how do you yeah, bars, right? How do you start to listen to what your body is telling you, where you have pain or tension or stuck energy, or if you start to talk about a subject and you feel tense in your throat, like how can you release that from your throat without talking in words? If you feel tightness in your shoulders, clenching, how can you release that or experience it without ignoring it?
Oh,
That makes
wow.
sense. Yeah.
You're gonna have to face something. It sounds like number one podcast listeners, you're gonna have to face some things here.
Yes.
Well, 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 if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
It always comes to
It's funny, you just
bite
talking
you in
about
the
your
ass. I'm
shoulder, and
kidding.
I'm like, now I'm self-conscious. I'm like, am I tensing up my shoulder right now?
No, you're not, you're not. You're
Okay.
relaxed.
I try to have good posture,
Yeah,
it's a big thing in, Indian culture, so
yeah. Posture is key. I will also say, like, you probably every single human as a baby, you do somatic practices without thinking about it. It's like how your body also naturally regulates that we are taught away from.
Yeah.
So some examples is like, when you're talking with people you're comfortable with in a conversation standing and your body just is kind of swaying, like that's your body just like acclimating to the space, the people, and
Cool.
feeling comfortable in your body. So that's like a normal thing that we all do. Or when you take a deep sigh without thinking about it, that's your body being like, oh, let me relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Things you don't even think about. Love it.
Right.
Okay. Long conversation with a long lost friend, and that's your body. That's
Yes.
the bar. I love it. Okay. Okay. Um, so I want to give you space to do we feel like we gave a good overview if someone's just starting of what all you do, what you practice? Is there anything we didn't cover, niche, that would be important for someone to know?
Hmm. In terms of what I do, right?
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
practice of yoga in general. I mean, we're gonna talk a little bit more about it. I have some specific questions, but I just
Yeah.
meant do you remember what it was, by the way, when you were 13, that feeling? Like, was it anything in particular, or was it just like an overall feeling when you went to that particular class when you were 13?
Yeah, I do. I remember it was the end of class, and it was specifically a Kundalini practice, which is a different type of yoga that we won't even go into, just a different style. And at the end, in every yoga practice, the end has this pose called Shavasana, which is
Yeah.
all about deep rest for a few minutes. And that integrates everything you just did in your body. Like it calms it down while you're resting. Um, and I was in Shavasana and I had that like moment of clarity where I felt like, you feel the sweat dripping down your body. You're starting to feel your breath and your heart rate is coming down and you just feel clear, just like in any workout or movement when you feel that clarity.
Yeah.
But the way that the teacher spoke holistically about diving into yourself, I think just started to ground in my body then. And that's where I felt an opening for myself.
Cool.
Yeah.
At 13. And
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
what made you fall, like, before you found it about 9 years ago, what made you fall out of it? Was it just, like, lifing, or what was it?
Yeah. Good question. Lifing and, going to school, being a dumb college kid, like
Yeah,
partying too hard. And I mean, I still did my practice within that, but life happens. Like we're human. And I will also say, like, something about me, there is anything I say or share today or am talking about, I have experienced or am experiencing myself. So there's no like high horse or like
yeah,
I've gotten to this point. It's we're in it together. Like I'm also growing at all times. So yeah, it was lifing, being a dumb college kid, having fun, partying,
yeah,
like, yeah, thinking that I needed to do like strength training only and not meditate or take care of
right.
myself in those ways. Yeah.
And more on that later, like, you know, the idea that preconceived notions, maybe. I wanna address some of them because I was guilty of them too,
Mm,
before, and, again, I'm still new to the space, but trying to learn more, so I think it'll be helpful for people to, uh, get those questions and truly get a sense of, like, how welcoming people are to this, and options you might have to get started, like, based on your own comfort level. Okay,
yeah,
so on that note, I think that's a nice segue.
that really was.
Yes. Obviously, I'm guessing you're a fan to starting yoga later in life. It's never too late to start.
100%.
Okay.
Never too late. I don't care if you literally have never moved your finger in your life, it's never too late.
So, on that note, niche, how can someone who's never done it before, who's just starting, get started with yoga?
Mm, yeah. Oh, great. I would say think about your comfort level. Like it does not matter where you are in your body, like your weight, your height, like your sizing, anything, where you are in your like flexibility, none of that matters. I think the point is to start. So if you're going to feel more comfortable at home, I would say start with the beginner's online video do a 10-minute practice. There are so many resources on YouTube, like all over online. I would say, you know, I know we always say no free ads here, but I'm gonna pump this girl, Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. If you've never heard of her, she's a great beginner's like starting point,
Hmm.
and she has so literally hundreds and hundreds of free yoga videos on YouTube. So if you're more comfortable in your home, start there and start with 5 minutes of a video. The next day, progress to 10 or the next week.
Yeah. Number one
If you,
podcast listeners for context, that's where I started.
mm,
I think part of it was like a yoga studio's financial commitment too, obviously.
yeah,
So for someone who's just starting, like obviously people's finances are limited. That's their business and whatnot. So it is a financial endeavor to join a studio. Now, if you're the type
definitely.
that needs to go somewhere where you won't work out, that's a different story. So maybe you try one out. A lot of them probably have like take a free class or meet someone who's
100%.
going somewhere. I'm sure they'll be welcoming for you to try it out. Not to put that on any yoga studio out there. So forgive me if that's not the case. But
No, it is. There's some most studios offer, like, a free class,
yeah,
some offer a free week, a free 2 weeks, like,
yeah,
there's so many resources out there. I would say even, like, your local YMCA or rec center will have free classes or in person or, like, $5 drop-ins, things
yeah.
like that. So if it feels better to go physically in person, do that. Like, find the free passes, get into your rec centers, get into YMCA, like, all those things, there's always a beginning there.
Right. So I started with we already pay for, again, yeah, no free ads here. We already pay for a workout app, and in that platform were yoga classes. So that's where I started and where I currently still am. And
Awesome.
I mix it in with um my workouts or as my workout. It's a mixture of a lot of things depending on what needs attention for that day. So number one podcast listeners, you're looking at someone who historically probably wouldn't have or was skeptical and just gave it a try at home in the comfort of my own home and something that I was already paying for monthly on a platform where it's kind of self-paced and you can pick what kind of course meets your needs for that particular day or week.
That's awesome. What did you think, like, in your first few practices?
Um, I mean, it's still rough. It's an uphill battle. I'm not naturally like I'm a pretty just in general kind of stiff person. I've had
Well,
back issues in my past, so they all cater it to it, and I don't ever feel pressured or pained by anything. So, and I assume a studio would be the same way. So it's gone well. I feel like it's only helped things because, you feel yourself improving as you go along. I mean, it's probably been a few years since I've actually started consistently mixing it in. You and our family is a good reason why, because we have so many of us that were we're yogis, not necessarily the level of teaching like you, Niche, but have a lot of us that practice it regularly. And I was a little late to the party, but it's never too late. So
it's
I
never too
figured
late.
it can only help. And I think the back problems were what really kind of got me motivated into it. Just like doing
Yeah.
things to help um, alleviate and get me more balanced with areas that were not doing so hot.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the top reasons people start who have never, like, some type of pain or injury they're having in their body, and I will say even especially for, like, people in athletics or,
Yeah.
um, sports people, what do you call them? Athletes, there it
Athletes.
is.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. For athletes, that's like an intro point that then they add on into their regimen because of how much it helps your body. So that's a very normal way to enter, but I would prefer if people didn't injure themselves and just started.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you're not injured and healthy, this is a nice time to start. If you are, you're still welcome, obviously, but,
Yes.
it's nice to start. I will say it's much nicer to start from a place of, like, not feeling like anything is, uh, needing a lot of modifications. I think I get more out of it now that things are obviously, you get more out of things when you're a little bit more healed.
Yeah.
Newsflash, everybody. But
No way.
yeah.
What?
Okay. So there's no right or wrong way. If you're someone who needs to go to a class, try out a spot. I'm sure you have a friend that practices. Join them if that helps you. If you prefer to be incognito, maybe you find one locally that
Yeah.
they're likely going to have a free class. Or
Yeah.
I'm sure if it's not advertised, you can go in and ask. I'm sure they'd
Yeah.
be very welcoming for you to try it out.
100%. And I would say just be open to sharing with the instructor too that you're new
Yeah,
and you're wanting some guidance. I think, you know, great instructors will always be really open to that and be welcoming to you like, "Oh, I got you. Like, let me show you where everything is. Let me show you how to set your mat out or what props you need or I'm going to come over and check on you and make sure you're okay." So whatever you need, express that before you get into class. Like, "I'm a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing, so either pay attention to me or don't if you want some time
yeah.
to yourself to acclimate." Yeah.
So, niche, what I want to know, a starter pack for someone who's just getting started in yoga. What do they need to show up to a studio, or if they're setting up at home, what are things that they would need to get started?
Okay. Top one, wear comfortable clothes you can move in.
Okay.
Top. And I don't mean you don't have to have, like, the best freaking matching yoga set. It can be a shorts and a, like, loose tee that you feel good in. That's
Yeah.
comfy, that you can move your body. If you do not have a mat, do not let that stop you. Every single studio will have a mat for you to borrow. So
Good.
if you don't have a mat, it's okay. If you do have a mat, that's all you need. Your body, a comfy clothes, and your mat, and that's it.
Okay. Good to know. And
Yeah.
if you're at home, you probably would need a mat if you're starting at home.
Yes.
If you don't already have one. A lot of people
Yeah.
have them for one way and reason or another, of course. But
Yeah. I
okay.
mean, listen, a rug can work if you have hardwood. You
Yeah.
don't have a mat yet, use your rug.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
You don't need to commit to anything financially, basically, is the
You
gist
don't,
of
you
this.
don't. Not at all. That's what I, like, wanna convey to people. You don't have to have the coolest water bottle, like, the coolest set, the
Yeah.
coolest mat. It can literally be like a Walgreens mat. It's okay.
Okay. All right, Niche. I want to ask you, like, this may seem like a silly question since we're already into the conversation. If you're trying to appeal to someone who's on the fence, what are the benefits of yoga in the sense of like using it for fitness reasons? Like we're talking about the Western way that people
Yeah,
know yoga as, of course.
absolutely. Longevity of your body, like, the stretching of your ligaments and your joints and getting fluid moving in your joints helps any physical practice of your life, and you do that the most, I would say, in yoga practice. So literally, you're training your body to get stronger in your joints and your ligaments as well as your muscular strength. So you build that type of endurance in your body, which is really beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as I've gotten older, the name of the game for me and everything, like you have a lot of vanity in your youth, and yoga, I think, is a means to like my goal is just to live longer, like that
Yeah.
perspective of
Yeah.
and even if it is still vanity reasons, yoga supports any type of workout. Like you're a runner, it's
Absolutely.
a great means to recover or to
Yeah.
supplement your workouts. If you're a lift someone who lifts, like how
Everything. Yeah.
everything
I
you
mean, it
should just
strengthens,
strive.
yeah. It strengthens your wrist, your ankles, your core muscles, like everything you're
Yeah.
using when you're lifting, when you're running, if you're doing HIIT training or CrossFit, like all of it repurposes your joints, your strength. I mean, people don't realize until they get into yoga class, like you're doing certain things that look like a push-up or balancing things that have you really grounding into your ankle or so it really builds strength for anything you're doing in your life.
Yeah, be prepared to be humbled by a pose that doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
ev
always say in my classes, you can be practicing for 1 day or 20 years, and your balance can be shit any day.
yep,
Yeah.
facts. Yeah, okay. So, Nisha, I wanted to give you some, like, I feel like typical excuses I would say that I'll use my own example, but things I hear a lot, okay? Addressing people that might be apprehensive about it. What if I'm not coordinated?
Hmm. That's a hard one. Oh, if you're not coordinated, you'll become more coordinated by going to yoga.
Okay, love it.
And your teacher will come over and help you with your coordination.
Yeah. And you're not expected to do like handstands in the first one anyway,
No,
so yeah.
no. You can literally sit there and that's your coordination.
Yeah. Okay. What if I feel like this is probably the one you hear the most, I'm guessing. Or you can tell me if I'm wrong, but what if I'm not flexible?
Top. That's one of the top ones for
Yeah.
sure. How are you going to get more flexible if you do not start stretching? Is
Yeah.
my question back to you. So you cannot help that if you do not start. And it's not about flexibility. You're going to come there and practice consistently. Your flexibility will start to increase. That's the only way is that you start. So, yeah.
Flexibility is not necessarily the name of the game for yoga. It's just like a benefit that you gain by practicing it. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Correct. And everybody's body is different. So like the person next to you's flexibility is going to be different than yours. Like it's a range, depends on your anatomy. Like you could have longer legs and a shorter torso, and your flexibility is just going to be a little different, but you will improve as you keep consistent.
Got it. Okay. Um, so I feel like there's the people that are apprehensive about yoga have this like stereotype of the type of person a yogi can be, like, like you're just picturing someone who's, I don't know, walking in their bare feet everywhere and like, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what the exact
Like
stereotype.
granola y and like
Yes, like
doesn't wear
yeah,
deodorant.
very, very granola, like
Yes.
so what do you say what do you say to those people, if anything? Is it just give it a chance? Is it doesn't mean that by starting it, you're gonna necessarily become that type of person. There's
No.
nothing wrong with that type of person, but if that's not something you're used to, I think that's what probably is it's more at a reflection of, like, what people are comfortable or uncomfortable with, like, something
Yeah.
different than what they're used to, but
Yeah. So what would I say to people who
yeah,
think that? Yeah, no, it's there is every type of person you see in the world, you will see in a yoga class, like from the broiest of broham people who are like bodybuilders, don't like drinking creatine. Like there is that kind of person in yoga class, and then you have the most granola barefoot on the ground,
yeah,
communing with Mother Earth. Like
yeah,
there's the gauntlet of every type of person, and it's your practice. Like the biggest thing, it is your practice. So whatever you want to get out of it, that's what it will be. And if you don't want to turn into a granola person, that's in your control.
yeah,
It's not pushed upon you in any way. Like you will encounter people like that. So it's also about your tolerance and your ability to be around different types of people, just like anywhere that you are.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, that's
no,
not everyone. There are so many different kinds of yogis. Like we're multifaceted humans.
exactly,
Yeah.
and mm, obviously, if you're going into a yoga class, you can interact with as much or as
Yes.
little as you want with people, especially
100%.
as you get more or less comfortable. Maybe you're
Yeah.
not an extrovert or whatever, and you're not looking for that, and it's purely just an internal practice, which is fine. But um, obviously, I think most people are accepting of the whole gauntlet. But you hit it. I was just trying to get at the point that you're going to see all types of people practicing yoga.
All
I just
types.
think the ones we see the most of are like the stereotype, obviously, but
Yeah.
just like I'm sure there are people that lift that don't want to be pigeonholed into one sort of stereotype either. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting the stereotypes that come with it because I would say, like, even myself in my own practice and feeling that way in yoga studios, like, in the Western world, like, I'm a curvier girl, I'm a brown girl, we are in America, and so
mhm,
Western yoga sometimes is seen as, like, the matching set, like, skinny
yeah,
typical person or whatever, but So I've had to kind of undo that for myself too in my practice and then in my teaching. Like, how can I really embrace who I am in this space and help other people feel embraced in that too?
Yeah.
Because there's every kind of body, every kind of color, every level of practice that show up to classes. So you're in good company. So I would just say trust your gut with the types of classes you go to. And if you really vibe with an instructor, go to their classes and
Yeah.
express what you need. And you should be getting like beginner modifications that they can offer when you're in class. Like it's very welcoming. Mhm.
Yeah. I think you probably play a really important role because I think the idea is that part of what can be intimidating is you see a certain body composition that the stereotype is for yoga, and to know how many different people practice it, I think helps to see yourself in people doing it. So,
Yeah, definitely.
just like people I think can be intimidated by starting to lift weights because they see people that are super strong looking and they think that's the
Yes.
gist of it. Like you can only be that way. So I would
Yes,
encourage
absolutely.
people like to find someone that works and know that if that's holding you back, there's all types of body compositions that practice it. You're looking, I
Definitely.
mean, I'm on podcast listeners, you're listening to one who's not that and who's trying it. So don't let
Yeah.
that deter you.
Which is awesome. I'm so proud of you for doing that because I know that's not always easy to get out of your comfort zone. And I think we've both probably experienced that in like life, like trying out different things either in a physical or a sport or,
Yeah.
that's we're not the typical person. And I
Yeah.
think that's like made us more passionate helping people who don't feel like they're the typical person, whatever that means.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever that
Yeah.
stereotype is, obviously all of it's relative and maybe that's not a concern, but just in case I wanted to address all parts of it that might be holding someone
Yeah.
back. Okay. All right. I want to shift over before you we're going to bounce a little bit around, but we've talked a little bit about mindfulness.
Mm,
Um, we've defined a few things. What does mindfulness mean like when we're speaking about that?
mm. To me, mindfulness is noticing. But it's presence. It's being fully present in the right now. Yeah. Like, even when your
Okay.
brain is, monkey braining, like, we call it there's a thing called monkey brain where you're constantly, like, you're on in the thoughts and you have a to-do list and you're like, "I gotta do that, and
Mhm.
I gotta do that, and I have to do this at work, and I have to go pick up your kids," or do all of the things we think that's, like, our brain, and sometimes when we're sitting in the now, our brain starts to do that. That is still mindfulness. It's just a
Got it.
practice of bringing it back. Yeah.
Got it. I love that. Is that
Yeah.
mindfulness versus meditation? Are they like two sides of the same coin? Are they different?
Mm.
How would you I don't mean to ask you gotcha questions here. Is like
No, I love this. I love this.
meditation in the broader category of mindfulness, would you say?
Yeah, I don't that's hard. I feel like meditation because traditionally people think meditation is like sitting in silence and being like doing some type of guidance or listening to a track and that's the only thing you're doing. But to me, meditation can be multiple things. Like it can be your everyday walk that you're taking. It can be, your practice of cooking with your music on. It can be like smelling your flowers. Like there are so many practices that can be meditative, not only sitting and doing a guided meditation. I feel like mindfulness is the thread in between everything we do in life. Like how present are you in the things you're doing? Like how present are you when you are cooking or making your coffee in the morning? Or how present are you when you step outside to get into your car? Like, are you really here or are you on your phone scrolling? Are you thinking about all the things you need to do? So I feel like mindfulness is threaded through everything, including meditation. So perhaps, yeah, meditation kind of falls underneath mindfulness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Long winded way of saying yes.
how can someone practice mindfulness? How can someone
Yeah.
execute being mindful?
Yeah. I think there's like so many ways you have to find what works for you. Something I would say, it's not adding something to your day, it is bringing presence to what you are already doing. So
Okay.
you don't need to add something to your to-do list. It can be if you make coffee every single morning or your tea or your matcha, you put your phone aside and you're really present in the process of making your coffee for that 5 minutes. And even if you don't know what to do, literally say or think the things you're doing. I'm placing my cup here. I'm pouring my
Oh,
coffee grounds in the thing. I'm putting it into the machine. I'm pressing the button. Ooh, I can smell the coffee. Like you can narrate that for
yeah.
yourself if it's hard for you to stay present. Um, yeah,
Like
I
that.
would say, like, if that's not your thing, put your phone away in another room, and for 5 minutes that you're drinking your coffee, just be there without being on your phone. That can be
Yeah.
a start. Um,
It's a great start.
yeah, one I really like to when you first wake up and you put your feet on the floor, pause right there. That's it. Take a few breaths, notice your feet on the floor, and then get up and start your day.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Easy
If you need
ones.
more ideas, tell me. Yeah, I'm trying to be easy. Approach it
No, those are
lightly
great.
and then yeah.
Those are easy places to start to start your it doesn't have to start your day, but not add anything to your to-do list. Just
Exactly.
it's just things you're already doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we begin, I before we get further into it, I wanted to since we talked a little bit about your history and stuff, where you are presently, I want to talk about like how often you practice right now. Like what is the breakdown of classes you teach? What
Mm,
how often you attend yourself as not a instructor, and then also I would love for you to plug what the special event that you have coming up,
mm.
if and talk just a little bit about what that is and how you came to that event. I don't want to tip
Yeah.
it off before you talk about it. So,
Yeah.
um, but what's your breakdown like a typical week as an
Yeah.
instructor and a practicing yogi, and then also um, a little bit about what's coming up for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, I have a full-time job. So I work full-time. I have a day job doing creative branding work. So I teach little less. I mean, if I could teach every single day, that would be amazing, but that's hard with the full time. So I teach Monday evenings at 5:30, and that's in all levels class. And then Sundays, I teach a power class, which is a bit more of an advanced flow in the morning. And then right after, I teach a restorative flow, so a different class that's slower. And after that restorative, I guide a meditation class. So I teach a total of 4 times per week. Um, and sometimes I'm taking up private sessions as well for yoga and embodiment. So that can vary from week to week. So that's what my path as an instructor right now looks like. I am looking for potentially a second place to teach just to get a little change of pace from the
Mhm.
studio I'm at currently, which I love. Um, and then my personal practice. Ooh, it's such a journey. When you start to teach, I feel like sometimes your personal practice can wane because
Yeah,
you're like giving and pouring into other people. So then you're like, oh, I want to be removed from the physical practice a little because I'm
yeah.
so in it planning my classes and my flows. So it can ebb and flow. But currently, I'm in a really I love the place that I'm in with my practice. With my physical, I practice every day, I would say, my own flow at home, but going to studios for other classes, which I really love doing. I love my personal practice at home, but I love going to other studios to be a student and be surrounded by other people and community moving like that. So I would say I probably go to 4 plus classes a week
Wow.
externally at different studios. Yeah. Um, yeah, some 3 to 4, I would say,
Okay.
consistent. Yeah, I love
Well,
it. Love the practice. I go to different studios than where I teach because that helps me be a bit more of a student. I think
got it.
sometimes for me, at least in my own community there, it's hard for me to step out of the teacher mode, so I
Totally.
love to go to other places and be a student.
Do you find yourself like stealing ideas as a when you
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, I think that's like in any creative practice or thing
yeah,
you're inspired by, you get little tidbits, and you're like, "Ooh, I wanna try that and put that in my flow," or, change up this sequence, so sometimes it's hard to turn that off and just be in my body, and I have to be very intentional
yeah.
with myself, like,
No, this
"Hey,
is
no,
for
we're
me.
in here." Yes.
Got it.
Like, "Okay, we can remember that if we remember it, but right now we're in our practice." So,
Yeah,
me to me.
talk about being mindful, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not
so
easy. Oh.
when you design your class,
Mm,
do you, like, do a run through at home when you're designing it, or you've practiced enough where you can picture, like, these combos are gonna work? How does it work, like,
yeah.
logistically for you as an instructor?
Yeah. Ooh. I would say I am a very, intuitive person and teacher,
Excellent.
and yeah, and I really appreciate the place I've gotten to in my, teaching style where I can figure out flows and piecing them together on the spot if I need to. But if I'm planning something specific, like a theme that I wanna hit on, a specific pillar of yoga or something that's going on in the world, and I wanna weave that into my practice, I will practice those specific things. Um, if I'm doing a new flow, like I was really inspired by someone's flow, and so I created something a new sequence of movement, I'll definitely practice that in my
Yeah,
body so I can know how to cue it for other people. So, I would say definitely practicing, like, different chunks of the flow first, but not always the holistic flow, if that makes sense.
got it.
Yeah.
And when your instructor, like, a power yoga or whatever, you're walking around the room, I assume? Like, you can't fully take the class while you're instructing it. That would be
Yeah.
tough,
That would
right?
be it would be tough, I've done it before, like, when I had to teach online during COVID, I did have to do that,
Yeah,
which is a trip, but, yeah, in where I teach currently and how I prefer to teach, it's you're demoing sometimes, you're like, moving and doing the postures with students sometimes, but you're walking around the room and you're focused on the students in the room and their bodies and making sure their alignment is right and they're in the posture in a safe way and, helping them get deeper in the pose sometimes with hands-on adjustments, so I'm being very I want to be very present with my students and their bodies versus me practicing with
right.
them. Yeah.
So, okay, in a typical class, what would you say how many people would you say are in if you go to a studio, how many people are in a class usually?
Ooh. It like in my class or just in the
In
general?
your class, and what would you say would be, in your own estimation, like a typical average?
Yeah. I would say, like, a typical average in any studio you go into, like, you could have 5 people in a class, you could also have 30 people in a class.
Okay.
Depends on the size of the studio and the, time of day sometimes too.
Yeah.
Midday, you might get, like, less people in a class. Early morning, you could typically get less people, but evening classes, like, right after work will be a little bit more. So, yeah, sometimes I've had, like, 4 people in my class, and other times I've had, like, 27, so it
Oh, wow.
it
Okay.
varies. Yeah. It really varies.
And you mentioned this, but if you go to a studio, like, the instructor will be walking around and, like, I don't know if challenge is the right way, but, like, assist and maybe challenge a particular pose you might be in. Is that true?
Yeah, it depends on your practice. So, yeah, challenge is a tough word. Like, if the instructor knows you and your practice and where you are and knows places to, like, push you to go a little deeper, definitely could be a challenge. Typically, yeah, the hands-on assist and adjust, I like to think of it as you're helping someone's alignment in their body. So, if someone's, like, in a mountain pose, if their shoulders are, like, in their ears, putting your hands there to help them, like,
Yeah.
relax them down, that's proper alignment and helps them not, like, injure something in their neck.
Got
So,
it.
it can be that. It can also be helping them get deeper in the pose and feel stable in it. So, if you're there helping them be stable, they can feel more confident in the posture.
That I will say that's something probably that you don't get by trying it at home.
Yeah.
You might feel there is a level of like, "Oh, am I doing this right?" That's for sure. So,
Yeah. And I would say definitely, like, listen to the cues like, about
yes.
alignment if you're doing it online at home. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We talked about a little bit. What pressures do you feel? This is more a diving into you niche because this is also
Mm,
opportunity to provide your perspective. What pressures do you feel like we talked a little bit about instructor versus practicing on your own. What pressures do
mm.
you feel as an instructor in maintaining yourself, like taking time for yourself versus pouring into others in your instruction?
Yeah. Ooh, that is, as you know, one of the, core pillar challenges that I wanna say challenge, just a core pillar of learning that's been in my life in general,
Yeah.
like, to and I think you also are this way, like, how much I want to pour into others, like, that is a part of who I am in my soul and my being, like, I
Yeah.
want to give and help people so much, but I've definitely gone into the mode of that's a detriment to me and my own self-care or self-abandonment,
Yeah.
um, so that's like a practice within itself that I've had to really pay attention to, so I think for me, I've had to learn certain tells within myself of when am I pushing myself too far in terms of pouring into others? Like to the point where I'm feeling things in my body or my heart that I'm like, I can't, there's things I've learned about myself that I'm like, oh, this is where I have to like take a step and go take care of myself in some way or pour
Yeah.
into myself or ask for help from someone who loves me to pour into me. So, yeah, it's definitely been a learning process and I still struggle with it to this day or am learning from it. Like I recently went on a stint of subbing so many classes and teaching a lot. And then I hosted an embodiment or somatic event. And I was pushing myself so hard for this stint of 2 months, as well as like getting ready for this event that I'm launching. Um, and I got to a point where I was like, ooh, I went past that point that I
Uh,
know. And I kind of crashed. I crashed out a little bit.
yeah.
And I had to. I had to crash out to be like, "Ooh, that's why we don't do that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what we did there,
You
self?
see what we did there? Don't do it again.
So what are things that you employ that work for you when hopefully you don't always get to crash out, but like when you
No, I don't.
start to sense it, what works for you to kind of um, get back to center or at least closer to center?
Yeah, the earth.
Touch
I'm gonna
grass.
be touch some fucking grass,
Yeah.
people. It helps. I That is my number 1 coming back to myself is going outside and legit putting my feet or my entire body on the grass. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, really?
It's like I truly, truly I have well, I think when I did that happened to me, I legit went to my favorite park and I lied. Is it lied? I laid. That's
Like,
the word.
yeah.
I laid face down in the grass and put one cheek, and then after a couple minutes, the other cheek.
Wow. Like,
We're talking about face cheeks if you're listening on
yeah,
a
yeah.
podcast.
Y- Yes.
And then I flipped over and did the same on my back. I was just like starfished, letting Mother Earth take care of me. That's like my number 1 beginning point. So that's one of my top. And then I would say talking to someone I love, who loves me and knows me, like that. Sometimes I need to verbally process the things I'm feeling. So therapy helps me with that as well as my loved ones. So
Yeah.
sourcing my help and my people that can be there for me and support and then moving my body, for me, movement feels like realigning with myself and can feel meditative. So doing something vigorous sometimes really helps me like get that energy or
Yeah.
angst out. Yeah.
Um, do you find yourself like, do you, when you're having those moments, like, do you need to talk about it? Or are there times where you just need to not think about it? Like,
Mm.
or is that just delaying it essentially? Like, do you
Yeah,
always
that's
address it when you're talking to someone? Is it always about that subject of what's like burning you out, or can doing something else totally unrelated snap you out of it?
yeah, that's such a good point. I think staying in it isn't always helpful. Like talking about it constantly or at nauseum does not help.
Yeah.
And you just reminded me too. I feel like something I've been really trying to practice in my own self is like, how can I have more fun? And I think when you push yourself to burnout and you're doing so much for others, like play and fun is such a beautiful thing too. So getting out of the mode of talking about it and doing something you love doing, or
Yeah.
going to explore something new, laughing with somebody, going to a comedy show, whatever it is, that is super helpful too. So being in play and joy is
Yeah.
so awesome.
'Cause
Yeah.
maybe you're feeling that sort of way because you haven't had that release, like, that whether you're
Yes.
an extrovert and you need a social release or you're introvert and need to not see people, like,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. And I would consider myself, I don't know, I feel like you would consider yourself extroverted, but
Yes.
I'm very introverted now as I've gotten older.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and I talk life more often, and you
Yeah.
said, like, candidly, you had a busy week last week, and you're like, "I just need to not do do something,"
Yeah.
and, yeah, I think I get that. I think as I get older, there are some times where I'm like, I don't feel like I need to." I'm would still qualify as an extrovert. I get a lot of juice out of,
Yeah.
like, interactions with people, but
Yeah.
also, I mean, that's is that would it be fair to say part of that might be because you are instructing every week, so you are already, like, naturally have to be on, so do you find yourself, like, you need a break from seeing people, maybe that contributes to it?
Yeah. Kind of. Sometimes. Sometimes it really fuels me, honestly.
Okay.
Like, um, but it depends on what's going on that week for me. Like, if I've done a lot of pouring in other ways as well as teaching, then I'm like kind of zapped and I need that's the word I keep using. Like, I'm zapped and I need to recharge.
Yeah,
But a lot of times, like, even when I'm zapped, going to teach like refuels me in a way because I'm connecting with this part of myself and with spirit or the universe, whatever you want to call it, and with the people in the room that makes me feel really like purposeful and aligned, and that recharges me a lot of
cool.
times. So it really depends.
Alright. Okay, so we skipped over it, but, tell me about what's coming up for you, and you hinted at your event coming up, but we
Yeah.
almost missed talking about that, so
Oh, thank
tell
you.
us more. Yeah.
I'm very excited about this. I have been dreaming about this for years, but I am hosting my first ever international retreat, and it's a yoga and somatic retreat
Sweet.
that I'm co-facilitating with one of my dear friends, Ambra, and we are going to Tenerife, Canary Islands, which is the islands off of Spain. So
Wow.
yeah,
That is incredible niche. I know that that's
thanks.
no, easy task, so the 2 of you, I'm sure, are very proud and probably can't wait, but I'm sure there's a little bit of anxiety with, like, making sure everything goes to plan too, so you
Oh yeah,
probably were like, "Let's" you just wanna know that like, get
it
started,
goes well. Oh
it's
my
that
god, I'm so excited.
anticipation.
Exactly, the anticipation, like, I can't wait for it to be here. It's in October of this year, and I mean, it's a long time coming. I've been working at it for years. That's been a, like, desire of mine for so long, and I used to do in one of my old jobs a lot of events and, running certain types of arts events or nonprofit events, and I really loved that part of, like, putting something together and helping people have an experience,
Yeah,
but to marry that with, like, purposeful things that I feel with yoga and embodiment and helping it's a women's retreat, so, like, helping women come fully in connection with themselves and each other and their joy, that's what it's all about, so it feels like such a, like, juicy moment that's coming together in
cool.
life. I'm so excited about, yeah.
So, what's it called? What'd you guys call the
Yeah, where our retreats are called Sanctuary of Her because it's
Sick.
all about women and women-led retreats, and this one specifically is called Return. So it's a return to yourself, a return to sisterhood and nourishment.
Love that.
Yeah.
Shout out you guys, and, how many days how do these work logistically? How many days
Yeah,
the retreat?
okay. Your ticket for the retreat covers it's all inclusive except for your airline ticket. So all of your meals, your stay, your transportation to and from the airport and the excursions. It includes 2 bigger excursions and then all of the programming, the yoga, embodiment, and some other ceremony practices like a cacao and a sound bath experience we'll be having. and it's 6 days, 5 nights, October 12th to the 17th of this year.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
What a cool thing.
I'm
Um,
excited. Sanctuaryofher.com, all the info, also on Instagram.
yeah, if we'll put that information, we'll tag Nisha's account so you can go check it out there. And, if you're interested, go check that out. I'm sure you
Would
guys will
love
be
to help.
enlightened by this conversation from Niche. So, what you're seeing, if you're watching on video form, or hearing if you're listening on audio form, is what you get with Niche. So, like, it's everything you want out of someone. That's what Niche is. So, I encourage you all, if you're interested, to do that. And those of you, number one podcast listeners that are men, they're equivalent events like that happen for, I would imagine, guys only, or all things. So
Definitely.
I know your guys are geared towards women, which is great. So don't let that
For now,
discourage you. There
yeah.
are events like that. So
There are, and if you are interested in resources and you're a man, for sure, like, reach out. I will absolutely connect you. And for now, I think in the future, I would really like to offer co-ed spaces too, just because I think men need a lot of support and
yeah,
love and opening into these spaces as well. But
but
yeah, for right now, it's
shout out
women.
you guys for doing that for women,
Thank
and
you.
having a safe place to do that for other powerful women there, with
Mhm.
you guys leading the way. That would be
Oh, I'm so glad.
I'm very proud of you. I know I'm sure
Thanks.
you're proud of yourself. I hope you are.
I
I'm
am, yeah.
excited to hear how the event goes. And
Thank you. No, it means a lot. Your support means a lot. And
yeah.
it's like, I mean, it's going to be cool too. I mean, you just went to Europe, so you know, like the vibes there of being able to really relax and tap into yourself in a new way. And it's going to be in this amazing villa that's overlooking the ocean. And
Oh man.
it's beautiful. So you'll be really rested too coming back.
Yeah. That'd
Yeah.
be very cup filling, I call it. So
Yeah. I got to plan one for the family after this one goes.
I know you're
Right? Wouldn't that be
you
fun?
if you're planning that big of an event, I feel like
Yeah.
you're asking for it
I'm
from
ready.
our
I'm
family.
ready.
You're
We
gonna
need
be
a family reunion. Why not make it like
yeah,
this?
you're gonna be voluntold by default. Okay. Niche. I feel like we covered a good gist of kind of what makes you you in the yoga space and the branches off of it. And hopefully, number one podcast listeners, we um, covered a nice breadth of the practice. It can go so many different directions, but I really wanted it to be from the lens that I'm in as a novice. And hopefully, if you're a rookie, that you learned a little bit, enough to at least start somewhere. We talked about mindfulness, some things that you can do: put the phone in the other room, be present in the moment. For yoga, there, start somewhere, start with a 5 minute, a 10 minute, whatever environment you're comfortable with, whether that's trying out a studio or starting at home. You don't need anything special for it. Just encouraging you to try. So there's some very simple actions that you can take that'll help you better yourself. And I do, we're going to address the meditation part of it, because that's something I've started to practice. And I remember when I first started, you were one of the first people I talked to. Like, how do I go about
What do I
this?
do?
And
Yeah.
I think we'll segue into that towards the end of of this edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, and for your eyeballs. Hopefully, you're tuning in video, by the way. So, we've talked about the last couple episodes. I'm hoping you guys are digging the content on video. Make sure I continue that. So I encourage you to do so. To watch, tune in. If you're listening in audio, switch over to video after you get through a listen. And if you're starting on video, make sure you run up our numbers and go listen in audio
Brilliant.
form too. So, okay, Niche. Well, like I said, we'll talk a little bit more. We'll get into meditation a little bit, a little later, a little tease for
Yeah.
later in the episode. But this is the number one podcast in your headphones. As you are aware, you are very supportive of this podcast, even though you're not typically a sports person.
Oh, I
So I know
play
you
them all
listen.
even if I don't listen.
Yep, and you always give me commentary like, "I don't know what you're talking about, but, you guys were laughing, so it was fun for me," and,
Yeah.
I know you know the segments at least, so you know we always got to deliver on you played yourself. So without
Hell yeah.
further ado, let's go to you played yourself. And, you are this mindful person, but you feel all emotions. You get angry too. So you played yourself a
Oh,
safe space for that, to address those moments. So, Niche, as you know, if you're new tuning into the number one podcast in your headphones, this segment's called You Played Yourself. It is things that happen that maybe you didn't expect to happen and probably shouldn't have happened, but we're placing the blame on them that they screwed up. So, Niche, do you have a You Played Yourself for the people?
yes. In true niche fashion, I have multiple because it was hard to
Go.
not. All
It's been
right.
a long time
You
coming.
played your, yeah, truly. And I couldn't start at first. And then when I started, I couldn't stop. And I
Yep.
was like,
That's what
okay, you
happens.
played yourself on theme with the episode. You played yourself if you think you can only practice yoga if you have a matching Lululemon set, know all the poses, or say namaste.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great one
Listen. Yeah. It's so much
because
more
we've
than
been
that. As
dancing around
deeper.
being nice about it, but it really is true.
It's deeper. It's so much deeper than that. And
Yeah,
I really, after this, I want beginners to feel like empowered to come and do things because
exactly.
it matters. You don't have to be any of that. Okay. My non on theme one. Okay, let's see. Mine is all about matcha and justice for matcha. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You played yourself. If you had one bad matcha and now every time someone orders one, you announce, it tastes like grass.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why people have to continue to say that because you had one bad sip of a grassy matcha in like years ago. It's like eating one French fry and thinking that potatoes are all bad. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. I am a matcha lover, like through and through.
I didn't realize
Before
that
it got,
about you.
yeah, I love it. I'm kind of caffeine sensitive, Prem. I don't know if you know that.
I
As I've gotten older, my caffeine tolerance is lower.
Whoa.
So
Well, you're
it's
naturally
interesting.
high on life, Niche, so
Exactly. I
yeah.
think that's why. So I've had to switch to matcha, like if I drink caffeine a little later, and I've just fallen in love with the earthiness of it and the different flavors. And
Yeah.
I was with Sunny the other day and we went to this place and I had an Earl Grey matcha that actually changed my life. So justice
Okay.
for matcha.
A a cross between multiple teas.
Yeah,
Okay,
literally.
I like it. I like that you went left field too. Okay. Um, alright. So, this might be controversial for you, but, this is
I'm
on brand for
excited.
this podcast, so when in doubt, we go there.
Yeah.
Okay, my "You Played Yourself" for this edition is kind of adjacent to on brand for this episode, but it's, trainers who try to be motivational at the end of, like, a tough, long workout, like, brother or sister, or they or whatever you identify it as. I mean, what do we shut the hell up, please. If I'm struggling, if I'm huffing and puffing towards the end of a workout, I do not need to hear why I shouldn't give up or why your life's gonna be better by doing this workout. I just need you to shut up and let the music play and let me try to struggle through the end of this long ass workout. So I have some like favorite instructors on the platform I use. Again, no free ads here. I would drop the
So
name of what I work out with at home, but some of them I love. But it's like if I do like a 30-minute version of a workout, it's fine. But when I get up to the 45 or hour versions of them, that extra 15 does something to me where I'm like, just
yeah.
shut the hell up. I do not need a motivational speech right now. I need you to shut the hell up and let me finish. I don't know what I look like. I'm glad I don't have a mirror in the point, but it can't be pretty. So I don't need you to tell me why I'm not giving up. So
That's so funny. It's amazing.
th-
And so it's specifically that at the 45-minute or over
that's what I've
30-minute mark.
noticed. Like
Yeah.
I have other friends that use the same platform and I'll tell them like even my favorite instructors annoy me at that point. And I'm like,
Yep.
it's such a nice, like good sweat of a workout. And I'm glad I did it after, but I'm like, I just find myself so annoyed with them at the end when
Yeah.
it reaches
Yeah.
that threshold when you're just like, oh, is this class over yet? When you
Yeah.
just the workout's like, okay, this has been tough. I've gotten a lot out of this, but is it over yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the same experience in classes too. I mean, if I and yogis, if you've practiced and done chair pose before, if a teacher keeps you in chair pose too long, if it's like my 17th chair pose, I fucking hate that
Yeah.
instructor.
'Cause
And if she's talking and laughing or he,
yeah.
I will literally be thinking, "You shut the fuck
Okay,
up."
so, like, this is what I wonder. Okay, you're in a yoga studio, right? And you're in a tough pose, like a chair pose, which number one
Right.
podcast listeners, if you're not familiar, it's kinda like being in a wall sit
Yes.
picture.
It's
Like,
like a thunderbolt lightning with your body. So
yeah,
you're sitting back like you're sitting in a chair,
yes. It's
but
what
you're
it sounds
hovering.
like, but, like, imagine being in it too long. It I think it would piss me off if, like, they were adjusting someone else or, like, shooting the shit with someone in the class, like, "You shut up, you're ruining it for us."
Yeah, and I will say low key, as an instructor, I do this, and I'm sorry.
It happens because you probably
I'm sorry
don't
I'm not.
realize it. I'm sure you don't realize it. It's not intentional,
Yeah.
but also you get so annoyed with someone because 'cause they're like, "Oh, you gotta be doing this on purpose so I get
Yeah,
more out of this workout."
yeah.
But, okay, niche. Great debut on You Played Yourself. I'm impressed with the preparation there. One
Thank you so
adjacent
much.
and one not at all. It's right on brand with this podcast. Number one podcast listeners, if you're new here, this is how it usually works. We we issue You Played Yourselves to a lot of people we have beef with, and it's usually sports related, but we try to mix in non-sports. So this one's right on theme. Okay. Next segment up is
Let's
called
get it.
Am I Hating? It is a safe place for us to say stuff that might be controversial that we're hating on, but we're going to say it anyway, Niche. So, Niche, you got to Am I Hating for the people?
I do. I also have multiple here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm nothing if not thorough.
I love it.
Also, I got a shout out in the last one with the fam. Like, y'all had some great ones, like the pickle flavored things and like 4th of July
Oh, we
stupid.
got something to address with,
Mhm.
uh, I'll let you, thank you for shouting out that, but the pickle flavored one,
Tell
especially,
me.
I gotta, I gotta issue kind of a You Played Yourself to, recent co-host Rachel, who was
Love you,
saying
Rach.
disparaging how overdone pickle has been, and I get a gas or ass video from our beloved cousin Roshan, who shout out him. He just celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday to Rosh.
Happy birthday.
Yes, but I got a gas or ass video, which if you tuned in last episode, we debuted gas or ass, but you know that it stemmed from a text thread that me, Roche, and Josiah have. Well, I got a video, and Roche was eating a new type of pizza and just casually mentioned another slice in the box he had was a pickle pizza that one
Shut up.
one Rachel Bott had ordered after she just issued a You Played Yourself or Am I Hating to pickle being overdone. And yet she's eating pickles on a pizza, which is out of bounds. Just out of bounds.
Wait,
We love you, Rach, but that's out of bounds, especially after you called yourself out.
also, low key, that sounds amazing.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but listen, I'd still try. Would I still try it? Absolutely, because if you tuned in last episode, you know that I won't knock something till I try it. So,
Yeah. So
but
we
it
gotta try
was
pickle
it
pizza.
was objectively a rich thing after what she said. So anyway,
That
Niche,
really is.
continue.
That's so funny. Okay. What is mine? Let's see. Okay, the first one's a quick one. I am definitely hating on this. You know how people are like, clock it, ate, you ate.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Every time I see somebody do that and you're having a conversation, they're just like, and if you're listening and you're not watching, I'm tapping my index and thumb together and shaking my head, or the middle finger and thumb and
Yep.
shaking my it can you use your words? I just like, at first I thought it was cute and it was fun, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's so cute, these little Gen Zers." And then they just use it in substitution of words, and I
Yep.
can't, and it's in times when it doesn't fucking make sense, and they're
Yep.
just like, "Yeah, clock it." You're
Yeah.
like, "What are you saying?" Hate it.
I love I No, I don't love that, but I love that you're issuing it because I've noticed it. And I didn't even know there were words associated with it. That's how washed I am. I
Yeah.
didn't know clock it went with it. Yeah.
Well, this is like the middle finger and the thumb is the number 8 in sign language, so that's why it's like you 8.
Oh, no.
I learned that, right, but then people misinterpreted and thought it was index to thumb,
Of
so then
course
the
they did.
internet went crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Internet went crazy and was like, "No, we're calling that clock it," or like, "That's T." Shut up.
Stop people.
I guess that wasn't that short.
Yeah.
That was one my second one, neither of these are on theme, but it's fine. My second one was, "Am I hating?" About the new Odyssey movie kinda
Oh,
being
really? I'm so pumped to
okay,
see it. I wasn't
no,
expecting
I'm
that from you.
yeah, I know. You know what? That's what a lot of people have told me. I will say I love a period piece. I love mythology. Like, I mean, the Odyssey, the entire story is wonderful. And I was very low key excited when I saw it was coming up in the first preview a year ago.
Mhm.
But then I was just the same actors, like the same white ass actors. I'm going to say it
Yeah. We do have
that
one
are
of us
cast
in it,
in
though.
so right. Oh, do they?
Yeah, Himesh Patel, he's a Hollywood actor.
Oh,
He's in the Odyssey, so shout out
okay. Well,
shout out. Yeah.
that's great. Shout out
I don't
to
know
our
how
brother.
big of a part. I can't imagine. I haven't seen a ton of them, so it can't be that big of a part, but anyway.
Right. Wait, go Himish. We love that. We love
Yeah,
to see that.
yeah,
Okay, that's good. But I mean, like the main characters being like these same actors, I just feel like we could have got some fresh new talent. And
yeah,
also, there are so many other stories to tell in mythology. Like, do we really have to do Achilles and Odysseus again? I don't
yeah,
think so. But am I going to watch it? Of course. And I'm kind of excited, but I do have like a weird taste in my mouth. Like,
yeah.
can we do something else?
I am hating a little bit because, they've been hyping up this, IMAX 70 millimeter. And just on a whim, I looked up like, oh, what theaters are them? There's only like 26 in the United States and like
Oh,
a double digit amount worldwide that have 70
whoa.
millimeter IMAX, like how Christopher Nolan intends you to see it. And
Right.
like I live in Ohio, there isn't a single theater in Ohio that does 70 millimeter IMAX.
No way.
So
Oh, that's a
obviously
bummer.
it's available at all theaters, but it's like they keep showing I can get in a lot of Odyssey content. I don't know if it's
Me too, actually.
myself
Yeah.
or they're just pumping it out to everybody, but I'm like fully invested in it. But the the width of the screen, like you're not getting all of it. It's getting we're all inevitably going to see
Yeah.
a cut off version of how he intended to film it. So
Yeah, that's true. And then I will say we have one here. I'm in Texas. We have one near where I live, but it's very limited times that they slot it
yeah,
for. So like sometimes hard to get tickets, but I am excited for that part and like the pure, like, we're years later. And so the picture quality and all that will
yeah,
be great. And don't get me wrong, I love Anne Hathaway, like
yeah,
all that stuff. But when I keep seeing the like ads, because I'm getting pumped those ads too, when they show Matt Damon in his American country ass accent being like, let's go home.
yeah.
I can't take it seriously.
I'm not
So
going to be able to unhear that. I hope he doesn't have that in the movie.
no, that's in all of the trailers. He's like,
Yeah, yeah.
let's go home. And I'm like, what year is it?
Spoiler alert: he doesn't get home right away. I saw something where it's like
That's
it's not a
nice.
spoiler. You've had centuries to read it.
Literally,
Yeah,
literally. Do you know? I don't know if you know this, Bram. In high school, I did a whole thesis on Ovid's Metamorphoses, which is like a novel this thick about so many different Greek and Roman and mythology things. And so there are so many rich, beautiful stories
yeah,
in those, like that we can pull from, even from like Hindu and Middle Eastern ancient mythology texts and from even Celtic. Like there's so many other stories we could be
yeah.
telling. So
It is the low hanging fruit, but am I gonna go see it as soon as possible? You bet
same here.
you bet your ass I am, yeah. Okay, I like those 2. Alright, did you have, any more Am I Hatans to feature?
I'll save them.
Okay,
You go.
save
I
'em for
want to hear
next time?
yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I interrupted you with the pickle thing. You wanted to shout out other ones we had. Did you agree with the other ones that we presented from the last
Yes.
episode?
Okay. The 4th of July is stupid. Completely agree.
Oh,
Especially because the dogs thing. Like
yeah,
I feel so bad
Steps
for
Am I
dogs.
Hating? it got
Yes, I love that.
quite the mixture of responses. Some people were all for 4th of
Really?
July, but what I gathered is most of the people that are big 4th of July people have, like, benefits of, like, "Oh, we always go here for it," or, like, they have some
Okay.
nostalgic. I'm finding a lot of people have access to, like, waterfront houses, and I feel like that's where
Yes,
the people that love, not a lot of people, the people that do love it, the rare ones, like, have some sort of access to a cool place to go for it. So
that's
I'm like,
cool. Listen, send us an invite and then maybe we'll change our
"Yeah, that's right.
minds.
I need someone with a lake house or something to then maybe
Yeah,
I'll be 4th of July person." Okay.
exactly. Wait, what was yours on that? Of
I think for mine was, people who won't try new foods.
yes, I actually agreed with all 4 of
Yeah.
yours. That one, the pickle
'Cause it's
thing,
very much like your
4th of July.
matcha take. It's like, you try
Yeah.
you tried it once, or like, trust me, I know ball. Like, when people don't, I think I said this is like, or some people, after I posted my "Am I hating, like, not trying new foods?" It's like, "Trust me, I'm presenting you with something that's good, like, I know what I'm talking about. I
Yes,
know ball with food." I mean,
you really do.
y yeah, so I'm not gonna offer you something that's not good. First of all, I'm unlikely to order something that isn't good if I'm being real with
Right.
myself. So, I had a few friends that were like, "Oh my gosh, I turned down trying a bite from you the other day." I'm like, "See, I tried to tell you, I know ball here." I'm trying to say.
That one's an also you played yourself, kinda both.
I used to, you know, I'm not trying to only be self-disparate. It's more like for comedic value. I'm like, I didn't get big by being picky or by accident.
Stop.
Say, but I know you would stop me from saying that, so I had to add.
I absolutely would,
Yeah,
'cause what the fuck? How
yeah,
dare you?
yeah, had to do it though.
And also Rush's was, like, hate on things more.
Yeah,
Totally agree, like, you don't have to like everything. It's
yeah.
okay to not like shit.
Well, and his was, like,
Okay.
supporting local, like, don't go to chains and stuff too. It's
Oh, you know I'm a proponent of that, like
yep, and
yeah, yeah,
you're an artist too, so, like, you're creative,
yeah,
so of course.
yeah.
Okay,
Have to support. Okay, what's your am I hating?
my am I hating is about flaky people. Okay, and I
Mm,
don't know if I'm just hating because, like, maybe I shouldn't care, but the idea that, like, someone can cancel plans or say no enough that you no longer believe the reason they give you is wild to
yeah.
me. Like, that you've done it enough that maybe you don't even realize it, but, like, am I hating that? I don't know how you could ever be so unaware, or even worse, okay with being that way. Like, if you knowingly
Mm,
are making up something and just, like, believing people, are you am I hating if I say, like, that's wild to me to be either unaware or purposely doing it? I don't know which one's worse, but being a flaky person to me is my am I hating. When you make up an excuse to miss something, is the feeling that you think the reason you're giving is automatically being believed? Like, I have to think that's the reason. Like, you think this made up reason is like, just because nobody's reacting to it, we all believe this made up story you tell? Or do you think we're dumb? Or I think when I get down to it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't care, but also I would hate to be known as a flaky person. And I
mm,
can't imagine getting to that point where the reasons you provide, even if they were valid, can't be believed anymore. So that's my MI
damn.
hidden.
Damn, who hurt you recently?
No,
Just kidding.
it's not even
No,
that
I'm
deep.
fucking
I feel like a lot of these used to be things that were happening to me, but they don't really
yeah,
phase me a ton anymore. It's just like I think about more of like, why would you want to be known as a flaky person? Like
yeah,
in function, when you could just say no in the first place or be honest in the first place. And I think that
yeah.
would be received better. So I'm just surprised, I think. And like, am I hating, or is it just a common thing and I'm just ignoring it? So
No, I don't think you're, um, alone in that. I think a lot of people feel that way, and as a person who has been guilty of this personally,
I
um,
wouldn't, I don't know. I don't, maybe
you
we
wanna
have a
call me
different
flaky?
dynamic of like,
No, I appreciate that
I
'cause
feel like you're honest every time. I consider flaky as
yeah.
like made up reasons, or like committing, but then
Ah,
like not even oh, I can't even trust when you commit to something.
I get you. Yeah.
Your yes doesn't even fully mean a yes to me
Yeah.
until you're
Yeah.
physically present. And
Yeah.
I don't understand how you would be okay with being that way. Maybe you don't mean to, but like,
Yeah.
probably it's time for some self evaluation or being present in oneself, you know?
That
Yeah.
that part. And I will say, like, spicy alt take, but what you said at the end is perfectly I agree with that, like, if you're continuing to do that even after being, like, called out or called forward in that way from people you care about, then you have to self-reflect. I do know some people, like myself included, or friends that I've talked to who have been like this, that I've had to have the conversation of, like, "Why do you keep canceling? Like, you're not
Yeah.
even there's no effort," right? I think some people have different reasonings for that, that they're not even realizing that they're doing it that much. So then they have like a moment of, oh crap, I didn't realize how much I was doing that because I'm going through ABCD. Um, or like people who don't know how to be honest with even themselves about how
Yeah.
much bandwidth they have. And then they get to that moment that they're like, I have zero bandwidth.
Yeah.
So and there's like some understanding there, but then at what point does it become too much?
Yes, I wrestle with that. I think the reason I put this on Am I Hayden instead of like too much sense or you played yourself is because like, is this me being too difficult or is it
Mm,
like a something I'm missing, but I think that's why it can be a little controversial, I think, because there's a lot of nuance
yeah,
to it. And then I also think it's more likely that you treat someone like this as like you stop inviting them. And to me,
yeah,
that that stinks in itself. So maybe it's a am I
yeah.
hating, but maybe they do need called out for it. So
Yeah,
'cause I tend to
exactly.
be like,
And then
I don't care enough anymore. I'm like, if I can't
have
trust you to be there, then it'll just reframe
right.
how I think about inviting, you know?
Yeah. That's a good point. I feel like it's also like your boundary with yourself and with that person.
Yeah.
Um, I think that matters too. Like, is your boundary like, okay, I'm going to bring it up in conversation. My max is one time, two times, three times. And then if there's no change from there, I'm going to,
Wow.
take a step back and not invite them to things or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like, what does the friendship mean to you in that regard? And what are you willing to put in effort or call that person out on? I think that's like, so you're right. It's super nuanced, like, depends on the person,
Yeah.
the types of experiences, like all that. But you do have to keep your boundaries of what your
Right.
energy is deserved for because you are a fantastic friend and, all of the things, how you show up for your people, I
Yeah.
think is incredible. And so I think getting that back is really important too. And if you're not feeling it, where's your boundary?
Yeah. So I think, yeah, that's a great way to put it. I think there's probably there's probably a ton of nuance, but I think the am I hating part is like the made up part of it where it's like I think
Yeah.
it's better received saying no because I think there's a fair amount of people that are like, sure, this is an excuse for me to stay in, or people have other shit going on. So like a
Yeah.
no is not a big deal, especially at my age, having kids and stuff. It's like, yeah, I don't care if you said no from the start. I understand of all
Right.
people, but or you don't need kids to understand that part. We're all adults. So but
Right.
the flakiness is the weird part that sits with me, I think, because I
Yeah.
think we're getting too old for that stuff that feels like,
Agreed.
um, youthful energy, but anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
That was a good one.
Yeah, now we're gonna move on to a, segment called "Who You Got and What You Feeling." It's like our pick 'em section. So,
Yeah.
obviously, in sports, it makes a lot of sense because 'cause we're making predictions, but this one is on trend with this theme niche. So, I have a "Who You Got" for you that's
Ooh,
themed with this episode, and then our "What You Feeling" is, like, something we're feeling lately, things we're into right now. It could be pretty basic into, like, shows and music. It could be a big event coming up. So, we'll start
awesome.
with who you got, and I got some kinda rapid fire yoga
Let's
adjacent
hear
ones for
it.
you, okay? So,
Cool.
if you gotta pick one or the other, you
Oh shit, I'm gonna be trash at this.
yeah, you might I guess you can have cop out answers, it's fine if you want. There's no rules.
Oh no.
Okay,
All right.
niche, yoga or meditation? What you got?
I'm gonna say yoga because it incorporates meditation.
Oh,
Paul.
see, okay. That checks out from what we've learned. Okay. Um, Equipment-wise, I know you said you don't need equipment, we said that from the start, but if someone is
Right.
getting equipment, yoga blocks or yoga towel?
Yoga blocks, hands down,
Blocks. Okay.
hands down. Yeah. I can give more reasoning on why if you want to.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
us.
Yoga blocks because you're learning new postures in your body, and so you might feel tightness or different alignment in specific places. The blocks can act as extensions of your hands, of your feet, so it helps the ground come closer to you, so you feel more confident in learning that posture in your body to start with. And I would say even throughout your practice, even if you're practicing for 20 years, blocks can help you get more aligned and deeper in a posture too. So they're phenomenal.
So if someone's starting and goes to studio, will a studio have yoga blocks that they can use?
Yes. Yes, every studio will have yoga blocks you can use. They might some places even have yoga towels if you wanna test that out before you ever purchase, but all yoga studios will have yoga blocks for sure. There are different kinds. There's, like, lighter ones or heavier cork ones. All of them are great.
Okay. If someone is just starting yoga, is there a piece of equipment they should invest in first?
Mm. I would say a mat would be the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Kay. For you personally, home or studio?
Studio.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do you have a reason why you prefer that one?
Yeah, I it's so nice to be around other people practicing, like, even though your practice is for you and you're in your zone, like, to be around a group of people in the same zone, in
Yeah.
a sense, is really empowering and feels like you're not alone in that practice, so I think I really love that, and plus, like, the vibes are really cool, like, someone else is leading you in a practice and you can feel their energy, like, there's such a tangible energy in a room when you're physically there, like, in any movement practice you do, if you're going to a HIIT class or some type of like F45 or whatever,
Yeah.
you get that energy from the instructor and the pupils, and it just feels so like, I don't know, it feels uplifting.
Got it.
Yeah.
Um, Hot yoga, yes or no?
Oh my God, this is hard. I want to say yes with a caveat.
What's the
Not
caveat?
always. The caveat is not always. Like, the way yoga inherently should be is you're building heat in your body already by your moving practice. So as you start to move, even if it's cooler in a room, you are building heat in your body by moving.
Yeah.
So a room does not need to be 90 degrees for you to get a good practice. Like, you do not need to be drenched and your mat and the floor around you and your neighbor's mat. You do not need to be drenched to have a great practice. So I think there's like misconceptions about that a little bit, that hot yoga is the only way, when in reality, you should already be building heat even if the room is cold. So, yes, and
Okay. If
yeah.
someone's considering hot yoga, is there, like, an amount they should do or not do, like, per week?
Yeah, that's I would say listen to your body. Like, everybody is different how much heat they can handle. Um, if it's your first time practicing, take more breaks for sure to realize in your body, like, if am I pushing too hard or not? So take more breaks in a child's pose or sitting on your mat. Feel how you're feeling with the heat. I mean, honestly, it really depends on your body and yourself, but I would probably, if you're a beginner, do 2 a week, maybe that.
Okay.
Um, yeah. But, like, many studios will be warm or, at, like, 77 or 82 degrees, and that just makes your body get a little bit looser as you're starting. So sometimes that's obviously okay, but if it's, like, 90 plus, really listen to your body about how hot it is.
'Kay.
Yeah.
Meditation, guided or silent for you?
Gosh. All of my answers feel like it's depends, but currently I would answer guided.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely still need it guided. Like, I think maybe in function, I every once in a while do practice like silent meditation or, without assistance, but I'm not like fully aware that I'm doing it probably. It's probably just
Yeah.
naturally happening. So I haven't been able to tap into it like on demand, basically.
Yeah. Man, I wanna learn more about your meditation practice and learn what you've been experiencing as of late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still kind of use the same concept that you do, which is we'll talk a little bit about it in a second, but
Oh, yeah,
what
you're right, you're
what
right.
how I kind of get in that mode. So,
Yeah. I
okay.
would say guided. Yeah.
What is one thing you wish someone would know going into yoga that may be considering it or has been apprehensive? If you could sum it up.
Ooh, ooh. Yeah, there's so many things I wanna say.
You addressed a few of
Okay.
them too, obviously, like,
I did.
matching set and all that stuff, but
Yeah. I would say I yeah, let me think about this. If you are a beginner going into yoga, just know that you are not the only person in the room struggling with being new. Your body will acclimate and start to adjust to the space. Hardest part is showing up. So once you show up, let yourself be there in whatever manner you are. And I think one of the biggest things I want to convey is no matter where you are in your practice, you are absolutely perfect where you are. Like there is nothing you have to do to be a yogi. There is nothing you have to make better. The simple act of showing up means that you are starting. So show up, start, and know there will be people in the room, in the community that will start to help and connect with you to make you feel less alone.
that's great life advice too. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Clock that.
Yeah. Clock
Mm.
that clock. No,
No, don't do that.
don't do
But
that.
yes, do apply that because everything you just said could be about life too. So
Truly. Yeah, I want people to feel comfortable where they are in their selves and their bodies to show up and be there and know that they're allowed to be exactly as they are. Like
yep.
they don't have to change anything. Yeah.
Whether you exercise or not, there's something in your life that you've had to start. Not everything you
Yes.
did in your life you started as a kid. So there's elements of it. So yoga should be no different theoretically. It's if you work out and you or you're a marathon runner, at some point you just started running. You started with a 5K or you just started, doing a mile or whatever. It started at some point. So
Exactly. You build, you just start and it builds and it builds and
just yep. Cool. All right, Niche. What you feeling lately?
so many things, so many feels, so little time. Just kidding. Okay, on theme. I have an on theme and a non on theme.
Okay.
On theme with this podcast episode, I have an acupressure point mat that I step on, hopefully, mostly every morning. And I'm loving it. It is, so I'm literally stepping on spikes on
Okay.
my feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I was
So,
picturing.
yeah, exactly. But they're not like, I'll show you after, but
Yeah.
it's a little mat. I have this one called a Veda mat, if anyone's heard of it. Desi owned, really awesome. It folds and you open it and you literally in the morning just step on it and kind of massage the pressure points of your feet. Because every meridian point in your body, like every part of your body is attached in your feet. There is a pressure point for it. So when you wake up that way, it's a really an Ayurvedic practice in yoga. It's a very good way to start to wake up your system into your day. And I'm just, I'm loving it.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. So that's my on theme one.
All right.
Um, okay. My two that I have for not on theme, I'm reading the Crescent City series, if anybody knows what that is. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
Okay. There's an author, her name is Sarah J. Mass. She has a really famous series called A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I've read and is fantastic. And personally, I have legit was reading only nonfiction books about like somatic yoga practices, like psychology,
Yeah.
healing for years. Like, you know, all of my book suggestions and things I was reading was in my certification courses and beyond and wanting to further that. And then I finally got back into fiction and as a creative person and like, that is really fueling for me, so to get back into a practice of reading fiction alongside my, you know, purposeful nonfiction has been incredible, and this series, I was not expecting it to be so good, the Crescent City novels, and it is like, I can't put it down. I
Mm,
was up till, like, 4 a.m. last week.
reading.
Yes, reading this novel. It's so good. It's so well written.
Damn.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. I love it.
And I feel inspired, like, it really has inspired me in my imagination and even how I'm writing different things or, like, for my retreat, certain things I'm planning, even though they're not correlated, my imagination is so spurred
Yeah.
that it's really fueling in my life, which is I've just loved.
Love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's one, and then my last one I will tell you. I every morning, I have added a practice of dancing to one song that I've discovered or that I love. Every morning. So dancing or moving my body however I feel,
Yeah.
which so this is kind of on theme, and to me, dance changes life. Like, it is one of the most powerful practices in our world, and there's now literal scientific research that of how much it can improve your mood, boost your blood circulation, like, make you feel connected in community. There are literal scientific studies if you don't believe in the spiritual aspects of it. So dance one song every morning, and today my song was, "Cherry" by Naomi Scott.
All right. Cherry by
Yeah.
Naomi Scott. I love it.
Dude, that song is fantastic, that whole album, you should listen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cherry and Naomi Scott. Okay.
Naomi Scott.
All right.
She's
What?
half Indian too.
All right. One of us. Okay. What I'm feeling lately is The Bear, the final season.
Oh,
My wife and I finished it. It is a huge improvement, especially from season 3, obviously, we all know that, but, also from season 4. It wrapped up the series very nicely, I thought, and were the best seasons since the first 2. And then, the current season of House of Dragon so far, really feeling that as well. Very high quality, big budget. Obviously, Game of Thrones stuff is like movie quality each time you're tuning into an episode. So, and then, uh, on a deeper level, I know we addressed it, during my episode with them, the episode with, myself, Steph, my wife, Roshan, and Rachel. The last episode, if you haven't watched it, go after you finish up this one, go back and watch that one or listen to it. Um,
so good.
yeah, but, our episode all together with the 4 of us, I'm definitely feeling that. And just our time that we got with them. It was truly quality time we got with them. And I'm proud of that episode we did. And that we'll always have that. Just like I'm really proud that you and I will always have this one. Um, and that we had the time to like bond and video proof to commemorate it. And our,
Yeah,
our boys really loved their time with, Roche and Rachel. So that was, talk about filling your cup. That definitely was one of those because you know, our our bond as cousins is really special to all of us. So, you
good.
want that for, I want that for my immediate family too. So that was cool to experience in person. So yeah, that
That's
that does it for
beautiful.
who you got and what you feeling. Now, number one podcast listeners, we are in for a treat because this is the portion of the episode that is too much sense. And those of you that are new here, too much sense is my opportunity to give advice. It's usually more than 2 cents worth, hence the title. So it's my chance to provide that unsolicited advice or general thinkings that I'm having lately. So with this particular episode, though, this is, I think, the first time I'm doing this because this is a special occasion, but we're going to end the episode with too much sense. But Before we do that, usually I do like a wrap up for the episode, but I wanted to end this episode strictly with Too Much Sense, and you'll find out in a second. So I want to thank you, number one podcast listeners, first of all, for tuning into this very special edition of Prem Brulee with my cousin Niche, who inspires me all the time and who I love to talk life with. So I hope you, number one podcast listeners, have gotten a glimpse into that and feel that. So thank you to number one podcast listeners and watchers. We hope you've been digging the video content to go along with our usual podcast platforms. Be sure to share our context, tell a friend to tell a friend. But the reason I'm doing this, number one podcast listeners, is because of my Too Much Sense. We've been hinting at, meditation. So I thought, what better way to feature meditation than Danish, have you lead a meditation to wrap up our episode. Number one podcast listeners, if this is your first go at meditating, this is a great intro into it because if you never have, this is an opportunity to get, quick 5-minute meditation because that's all you need. You don't need a certain amount of time. It can be even shorter than that. But I wanted to start with the 5-minute meditation for those that might be new to it, or if you already practice meditating, this is a good opportunity to get a session built into the podcast you're already listening or watching. So my Too Much Sense on that note is about meditation. It's the importance of taking a second for yourself. You may not know that you meditate, but creating an avenue to take a breather is a form of it. And it's the perfect segue to hand off my Too Much Sense for the first time to you, Niche, to lead me and the number one podcast listeners and watchers on a 5-minute meditation. Maybe number one podcast listeners, this is your first go at trying it. So we hope you dig this. Niche, I'm very proud to have you do this. You were the one that gave me advice on how to start my meditation, and that was finding some sort of like audio backing to do it, maybe a guided meditation, which is what's helped me, finding a comfortable spot to sit in. I found that kind of laying in a restful pose was beneficial for me. I could get into the mode best. Some people prefer to sit. You can even sit in a chair to do it, but that's what's worked for me. And before I turn it over to you, Nish, to finish up our episode, I did want to share with number one podcast listeners that very honored that the background music of this that you'll hear naturally pretty faintly is by my stepmom's late brother, the talented musician and composer David Schmoll, aka Das Ambient Works. It's called Constellations. So hope you dig the background music that's faint in the background, but I wanted to give it due credit and honor to the late David Schmoll. And without further ado, Niche, take it away for the benefit of our number one podcast listeners, a 5-minute meditation to wrap up this very special edition of the number one podcast in your headphones and for your eyeballs, Prem Brulee. All right, Niche, meditation, take it away.
We'll give you a moment, our number one podcast listeners, to find a comfortable seat, either laying down or sitting upright. Whichever form you choose to take, place your feet on the ground. If you're laying down, your knees will be stacked, feet on the ground. If you're in a chair, feeling them grounded on the floor beneath you. And start to close down your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Breathe it out of your mouth. Deep breath in, fill your belly. Deep breath out of your mouth. Third time, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And keep your breath going just like that as you settle your body into your seat, letting any tension or wiggles out of your body Find your stillness here. And as you continue to breathe, bring your focus to the top of your head. And from the top of your head, a bright white light travels down through your forehead. And feel that white light start to release any tension in your forehead. Then drop that vibrant light through your face and your cheeks, down your mouth and your chin. Let your jaw relax. And feel that white light and your focus travel down your neck, through your shoulders. Let your shoulders melt into the surface beneath you. As that white light travels down through your chest, down your arms, through your fingertips, let your arms be heavy. Then let that white light travel down your spine, through your hips, your sits bones, connected to the surface below you. And feel that light travel down through your thighs, around your knees, through your calves and your ankles to relax. And feel that white light fill your feet fully. From the heels through the arch of your foot, the ball mounds of your foot, into your toes. And feel that white light in the center of both of your feet pressing down into the earth. As you feel that connection of your feet on the ground, imagine below your feet that white light opens up the ground below you. And feel that light open up through the soil of the ground, like two tree trunks. And let those roots of that light travel through the soil, the sand, the sediment, the rocks, and all of the layers of the earth to land in the center of the earth. And imagine at the core of the earth that these roots from the bottom of your feet ground down into the core of this earth. And feel that white light from the top of your head down through your entire body, shooting down into those roots to the center of the earth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Any heavy or tense feelings in your body, feel that white light take that tense spot and press it down towards the opening at the base of your feet, shooting that tension down through the roots into the center of the earth to be cleansed. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And gently bring that focus back to the base of your feet, starting to move and tap the feet on the ground, lifting the toes, then press them back down. Thank the roots and the core of the earth for that grounded energy. Then close those roots at your feet And feel that groundedness shoot up through your feet, your legs, around your hips, through your belly, your chest, your arms, your neck, your face, shooting out of the crown of your head to wrap around your body like a bubble of groundedness. And take a deep breath in. Sigh it out of your mouth. Then gently start to wiggle your fingertips. Move your neck from left to right. Roll your wrists and your ankles. And on your next breath, start to circle your palms up to the sky, stretching up to the ceiling. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, bring your palms back down to your lap. And when you're ready, slowly blink open your eyes. We can close our meditation practice right here, palms to your heart center. Namaste.